And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
I'll alert the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. We have another twofer this week. We have Jenny Teater on. She is here with us. I say twofer because it's Jenny's episode in Cambogle this week. This one, Jenny Teater, this is an episode, I'm not going to lie to you, I should have put this episode out weeks ago. And I dropped the ball, and this seems to be a running theme, right? Where sometimes I drop the ball. I'm sorry. I got a lot of things have been happening here behind the scenes and stuff, and my brain has just been everywhere. So Jenny, I'm sorry. This should have come out at the beginning of June. It really, really should have. I have no excuse except for I suck, and I'm sorry. So that's it. Now we move on. So she is here. She's doing freaking awesome ass things. She was in Normandy at the beginning of June for the D-Day celebrations. Hence why she should have been on earlier. Because, and you're going to hear it in the episode, I'm going all over the place. I'm running on like very few hours of sleep. We went and saw George Strait over the weekend, and when I'm recording this, it is Sunday, even though it is Tuesday when this comes out. So I'm just tired. All right, so we're going to call a spade a spade. There it is. But we had a great time. Jenny Teater, the ADHD is wild today, so don't mind that. Jenny Teater is here. This is one of those conversations where, you know, I think I said it to her in the episode where it's refreshing to have a female artist on that is willing to open up and talk about herself and in her lives, because we don't get that a lot, which is a huge bummer for me because I love to hear the stories, right? And Jenny did not disappoint, and she's lovely, and we love her here, and her music is fantastic, very bluesy, very, very raspy, very, you know, like the kind of music you want to hear, you know, and that's just the long and short of it. So she is here. Great story. I'm gonna shut up now, let you listen to her and enjoy, because if you don't enjoy her story, there's something wrong with you. That's what I'm just gonna say. So cheers to you. Thanks for being here. If it's your first time here, you can already see what the hell this is all about, right? If it is not your first time here, you've already know. Go check us out on all of our socials, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. BootsandWhiskeyEntertainment.com is the website. We got some reviews up there. We will get the George Strait review up soon. We are also going to invite for Peak House on the Rooftops this Thursday night in Cambridge at the Sinclair, so we're looking forward to that. Yeah, my shirt looks wet as hell because it's 1,000,000 degrees here in New England. But cheers to you. Jim needs a drink, I think. Jim needs a hair of the dog. Let's do it. Let's rally. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Or happy Sunday to me because it's Sunday while I'm recording this, but happy Tuesday to you because it's Tuesday. When you're done this, go check out the Cambogle episode and everything else that we do. So enjoy the conversation. I'm really going to shut up now because I'm just rambling. And we'll see you on the flip side. Cheers, guys. That's good. That's good because we won't get into that. But anyway. Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome to what I like to lovingly call the shit show.
Okay. Love it.
Because we're just here to, you know, hang out and shoot the breeze and get to know you a little bit.
Great. That sounds great. Yeah. Thank you for having me too.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, this is all about you. I'm going to let you kind of like go with it. You know, there's no agenda. You know, we talk about really whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the weather, we can talk about that. I don't care. It's all up to you.
Okay. Well, do you want me to introduce myself?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, my name is Jenny Teater. I live here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been here for about 8 years now. And so many influences have poured into my music over the last 8 years, and I'm finally kind of settling into my own lane, which I named Rhinestone Rock
It's awesome.
right here. And it's just a little bit of grit, glam, and everything in between, honestly. Between country, blues, and rock. Huge classic rock background. And I dabbled in a little bit of everything over the last 8 years. And it finally hit me that I don't really need to be one genre, as I once was told. And so I created my own, and I'm just going with it and whatever feels right. And I just like good music. Whatever genre you want to classify that is up to you. But we're rolling with Rhinestone Rock, and that's going to be the next single that comes out. But I just dropped my debut album on May 9th. So it just came out, and it's streaming everywhere. And it's a perfect sampler of who I am, my experiences, my vocal range, and just me as a songwriter, upbeat and stripped down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's what I like most about you is that you have that grit, right? And that sound that not a lot of people have, regardless of anything. And it's definitely not a sound a lot of female vocalists have. You get a little more, with a lot of the girls, you get a little more poppy, and you get a little more this, and you get a little more like, oh, well, that's radio friendly. And it's like, shoot me in the face now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it all sounds the same.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for saying that.
It does. And
I didn't want to sound like, it all sounds the same, but it
does. And not that it's bad or sucks or whatever, but like you can turn on the radio right now, and every female that gets the chance to be on the radio, it's like, oh, who's this? Because they all fucking sound the same.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there is a incredibly talented female and male artists out there right now too. But I think where the music industry has traveled over the last decade, it's gotten very surface level, kind of lazy. I think a lot of the art behind songwriting is just gone in a lot of mainstream. Yeah, it's very cookie cutter. It's predictable. It's easily digestible, which I think plays a part into society right now.
Yeah,
we're lazy. We got lazy and impatient, and surface level stuff is just it's easy, and it's kind of sad. But I'm all about the opposite of that, and just the feeling of music, and I think classic rock is a big influence. Fleetwood Mac, love Stevie Nicks. We're bringing to that. Alanis Morissette. Let's get angry again, but rock out.
Right.
And that's kind of some of my grit, but it's just I love it. It's me. So
and that's the way it should be, right? Because my guess, when you drop artists like that, especially Alanis Morissette, we must be in the same age group, right? Where even during the 90s, where they had all those female artists, they were angry and getting a point across. It wasn't right. It wasn't angry to be angry. It was angry to
relatable.
Right.
It was all relatable stuff too. Right. That's the thing, is we're all human. We all it's that is the bottom line of everything, is everybody's human, and there's so much that we can talk about, the ugly and everything in between as well. It doesn't have to just be I broke up with someone and I'm drinking at a bar. There's so much of that.
Right.
And there's so much more that we can talk about, and that's something that I respect about a lot of the classic rock 90s stuff, is she wasn't afraid. She was bold. She was herself and unapologetic about it. And so I respect the hell out of that. And that's kind of what I'm doing. It's just if you don't like it, you can go listen to someone else. That's
exactly.
okay. You don't have to. You don't have to like it. but
It's
that's what I'm doing.
and
So.
you know, for me, like I love female art. When we first started this, and I feel like I can tell you this story because I've tried to, I tell my circle this story and like they get it. But like I've tried to have, when I first started this podcast, like I had predominantly female guests.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, right? They were the ones that were like, yes, get me out there, you know, whatever, right? But as we've kind of evolved into a show that isn't trying to be something it's not, and I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not, right? Where like I've always, you know, I'm a northerner, I'm a New Englander, like I'm gonna piss you off and it's not intentional, it's just we don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And you know, at first it was very sterile, it was very like, where are you from, Bob? You know, all that crap, right? But as I've gotten through all of this, you know, the conversations have gotten way more in depth. And for some reason, I'm not saying this is you because I don't believe it is, but a lot of these female artists that are on the rise, that are doing the Nashville sound, are so afraid to open up. Like they're afraid to be human.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't know if it's the way that they were like groomed, like
I think that's exactly what it is.
or what. I think that's just the thing. Like it's you have to take risk. I mean, the music industry in general is a huge risk,
Huge.
right? Like going for the artist journey is a huge risk because it's based off of the market. They have to like it, and if they don't like it, you're kind of screwed. But I mean, you have to take risks, and I've always been that person. Like my mom calls me the fool, because like if anyone out there is a tarot card person, the fool in tarot is about taking risks. It's not like as you would think a fool, like you're a fool, but it's like you're the fool for taking risks, and I envy that about you because if you don't, you're not gonna find out whether it's good for you or not. And so if I didn't move here 8 years ago to follow my heart, I think about that still. I'm like, where would I be? What would I be doing? And you have to just follow your heart sometimes, and that takes a lot of risk. But without risk,
and you know, and again, I'm not, you know, because I'm a guy, I feel, you know, I can say this, but like being on this side of it, you know, as a female artist, you have to work 10 times harder than the guys do.
Yeah.
Right. And right, regardless of how you want to put a definition on it, you are a fool for doing this and putting yourself out there because you're a woman, because, you know, you, especially the kind of music you put out, which is fantastic, but you're putting it out there. You're not fucking around you're fucking around and finding out,
right?
But not in a bad way.
Yeah, you have to though.
If
none of us did it because we're a woman and because we, you know, it's harder for us, then we would just be like bowing to like what the stereotype is. So like if we didn't try, then it would just remain the same.
Right.
So then you're choosing to be that stereotype and let it happen. But there's been so many trailblazers in this industry of women, and that's who I look up to. And that's, I mean, you have to, and then advocate for other females out there to push and go for it.
You know, I find it so funny because it's like you watch the award shows and, you know, all this stuff, and every year or every cycle or whatever, it's like, you know, they talk about the greatest country artists of all time, and it's the top 5, 6 are all female, right? But now you watch those shows and there isn't a woman to be represented. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like, what is, you know, and maybe it is because they, again, not to sound like an asshole, but they all sound the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're trying to do something different.
And I love that. That's the way it should be.
But like bringing in familiar influences too. So that's kind of been my whole thing is like, I mean, my voice is what sets it apart, right? Yeah. Everyone's voice can be different unless you're trying to sound like somebody, but it's like I'm influenced, but I don't think that I sound like anyone else just because everyone is unique.
Sure.
So
Right.
those influences come into the production and like the way that I'm singing something, and like I have so much soul in my voice. So like, for instance, Chris Stapleton, he's a huge influence on the male countryside.
Yeah.
Like he has soul in his voice. I love singing his stuff. There are certain male country artists that I just can't sing because I would not do it justice. Like it does not fit my voice.
Right.
So I tend to like play covers of people that do fit my voice, and stand my ground on like if someone downtown, I did Broadway for like a year. If they requested a song that I just like didn't know or didn't fit my voice, I'm like, sorry, I don't have that one, but I could do this. And I would just like kind of point them in a different direction, because it's just, you just stay true to yourself. I just never want to surrender to doing something that you're just supposed to do because you're on Broadway. So you have to know these standards.
Right.
There's been a lot of unsolicited opinions on Broadway too, of like, you don't know this song, you're on Broadway. I'd be like, okay, what does that mean? Like,
okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of that. And so I just did my thing. And like, the company that I was with loved that, which I was very like, I was just like honored that they accepted artists, that they didn't have rules that you had to play a certain genre or a certain standard. Like there's like a list of Broadway standards, and I know a lot of them, but some of them I'm just like, that's not for me. Sorry, I'm not gonna do this, but I'll do this song. And it's worked. And I think just my biggest advice to anyone who's going for music is like, stay true to yourself. Because I've gone down that path of doing what I've been told to do, or advised to do, and it just did not feel right. It didn't feel right at all. And then you can go down some like really bad roads. And so once I got to the point where I just did not give a fuck,
you can say it. Yeah.
I did not give a fuck. I don't. And I'm just doing what feels right for me, and it's working. So
now let me ask you, when you get in a situation like that, right? When it is like, okay, I guess I'll do this to play it safe. Do you know out of the gate that it's not for you, or is it one of those things you try to convince yourself, okay, maybe it is for me, and I'm just gonna try it? You know what I mean?
Sometimes out of the gate, yes, because it's just a gut feeling. You're just like, I don't think. But years ago, I mean, I was put in a situation like that but I was naive. I was new. I was green. And I'm like, well, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And maybe this is the direction I should be going, because I didn't have the experience or backbone at that point in my career to stand up for myself. So, and you're going to have to go through that. I think that comes with everybody's artist journey. But now that I'm 8 years in, it's a different story.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think it's all learning. It's all a learning process. So
where are you from originally?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like? Like, what was it like for you growing up with your music? Have you always kind of sung and all that, or is this something that you developed later on in life?
I was a singer first, so I grew up in choir.
Okay.
Choir was like my thing. I was in choir from like 6th grade throughout high school, and that's really where I learned how to sing. Loved music, always loved music, so I was like, okay, choir. And then at 15, I taught myself how to play guitar. That's when I was like, I really want to learn how to play guitar and use my voice with, playing, and started writing my own songs in high school. They weren't great songs, but you got to start somewhere.
That's right.
And that's really when I started all of that. And so then I went to college and I started my first band in college, Jenny Teater and the Fevers, we were called. I love that name. And that's really where I got my experience, like being in a band.
Right.
And it was awesome. And so, but I self-taught. I'm a rhythm player, so I can sing. I can sing more than I can play. Like I can hold my own and play and do a solo show. I do plenty of those. I'm just not a lead guitarist, but yeah.
That's awesome.
That's how I start.
So when you're growing up and getting into music and all that, Like, are your parents listening to certain things that you got into, or are you discovering some of this stuff on your own?
I think it was a mix.
Yeah.
My dad, I definitely got a lot of the classic rock from my dad.
Sure.
Aerosmith my dad listened to them a lot, and
Really?
that's how yeah, oh yeah. And the Eagles. I love Aerosmith. They're definitely like rock idols of mine. Like Steven Tyler's incredible.
You know,
So love
not
them.
to interrupt you, but that makes me laugh because, growing up here and living here, I always, like, I know they're like a huge band, right? But like, you kind of get this sense of like, no, those are the bad boys from Boston, so that's our band, right?
Oh,
Like, we don't, I've never wrapped my head around other people loving Aerosmith the way we do up here.
gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, loved Aerosmith. I mean, he had all the live albums too. I
Yeah.
specifically remember the live albums, and on road trips he would put that on. He'd put on the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and stuff. So definitely got a lot of the like rock side from my dad. My mom listened to like Martina McBride and Faith Hill. Those were like the two like female country I remember her listening to. So I didn't grow up with like Dolly or any like Reba.
Sure.
Did not know her catalog at all. But I respect. I mean, they're obviously legends.
Right.
But yeah, and so got some of the countryside from my mom. But I learned country when I moved to Nashville. It just wasn't around me.
Sure.
As much, especially in high school and stuff. I got into like jam bands, and Tedeschi Trucks Band's my favorite band, all-time favorite. Susan Tedeschi is amazing. She can do no wrong.
She is good. Yeah.
She's just effortless, and like her and I, like our voice, like I could cover a lot of Susan's stuff, and it's just it fits my voice so well.
Yeah.
The blues side, Bonnie Raitt is another big influence, and that was Susan's biggest idol and influence too. And so I see them play together. I'm just like, man, I want to be on stage with them so bad. So I got into Tedeschi Trucks Band in college when I saw them, and just literally changed my life.
That's awesome.
It was silly. And Grace Potter.
Yeah.
Love Grace Potter. That's a big reference. People say that I sound like Grace Potter with like Elle King and some Miranda on the countryside of things because I'm sassy and there's some sass in there. So it's like a blend like that. So, man, yeah.
I think we're going to go see the Tedeschi Trucks Band this summer at least once.
You got to, if you've never.
Because they're coming up here. I mean, Susan has ties to this area.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're coming up here for a couple of shows, and one of the shows Whiskey Myers is opening, and the other show Nolan Taylor's opening for, and we've become close with both camps, kind of, sort of. So it's like, well, we might as well see them twice. Right?
Have you never seen them?
So I have seen Susan by herself.
Okay.
Because the kid I grew up with, his family, I think his mom's side, are Tedeschis.
Okay.
And related to her.
Amazing.
So she came up and played like an outdoor festival that they do every year, and like when she was first starting, like
okay,
So I saw her once as a kid. I don't think I've seen them since. I saw Derek play with the Allman Brothers. But that's it. I don't think I've ever seen the full band together.
You have to.
Okay.
Even to people who don't know who they are, it's an experience. And I brought my fiance to one. We saw him at the Fox Theater a couple years ago. And I mean, he likes what I've shown him of them, and loves the type of music and everything. But when I looked over at him and saw his jaw just dropped, I mean, they are incredible live. They're just genius musicians. I mean, Derek Truck is one of the best slide guitarists out there.
Yeah.
And it's like 13 of them on stage with a horn section, 2 drums, and it's an experience.
Yeah.
They take you on an experience, and it is truly life-changing, I think. To see a performance like that, that's not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
They improvise. They're not, always using tracks and stuff. It's just like it's just pure good music.
It is.
And the emotion that comes out of her voice is silly. So you should definitely see them. We were looking at that show too with Whiskey Myers. So
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and like how, in the 70s and stuff, like bands like the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner, and even if Tedeschi Trucks came out then, right? They
Mm-hmm.
all fall under this like southern rock umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they came out today, they're being played on country radio. They're playing, in that sort of sound. And I've seen Willie Nelson every year over the last 3 or 4
Oh,
when he
wow.
comes through. In one year, like Bob Weir and a few other like jam bandy bands opened the festival, and like I didn't get it. Right, I just didn't. And like I was
Yeah.
big into jam bands in college and all, but like I just didn't. I didn't think it fit, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like it's Willie Nelson, like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And like after thinking about it, like it's like okay, it made sense a little bit, but like when you bring in that, I say hippie culture, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but you bring
Yeah.
in that hippie culture and the country music culture, it works, and it's so opposite, and it's such a strange mixture.
Yeah. I've never been to something like that. Yeah.
No, oh man,
No.
it's
Well,
because you don't know what to do. You don't know who to be.
yeah, it's like good people watching, but like I've definitely seen some jam bands that are like super just straight instrumental.
Yeah.
And that's not my cup of tea,
No.
but like I mean Tedeschi Trucks Band, I don't think they're considered like a full jam band. I mean they have songs and a vocalist and everything. It's a little different than that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like that would be an interesting crossover for sure.
Yeah, it is. Because I remember my first Willie show, and like I'm coming at it from a very country music oriented
Yeah.
lens.
Yeah.
And I'm in the parking lot. I called my father, and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, he's like, you got to think about it. You got to think about the time and when Willie was super popular." And I was like, "All right, like
Yeah.
it makes sense."
Yeah.
Like he took on that hippie culture, even being a country music artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I get it. Well, yeah, Whiskey Myers is definitely in my wheelhouse too. Love them. They've got
Have you ever seen them?
several times.
Yeah.
We love Whiskey Myers.
Yeah.
We've seen and then when that came out that they were going on tour.
Yeah.
TTB dates, we were like, okay, we should probably go and see them because we love them. But I just love that they've got so much grit and stuff. I mean, I guess like the album that I just put out was considered outlaw country.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, I have more country aspects to it than rock, but there's definitely some rockin' songs, and I had some storytelling songs, which definitely lean country. But the outlaw country, I mean, it makes sense because it's just like
that's true.
Outside of country but like not caring. Like I love that. I love that. Honestly, it's like that fits me for sure because you're not putting me in a box. We're trying to really break the mold of what the industry expects of an artist. And I have a song called Breaking the Mold that's all about just being yourself and not caring about what other people think.
Yeah.
And just stay true to yourself. And that's the name of the album. It's called Breaking the Mold. And the whole album, if you listen to it from top to bottom, you'll understand what I'm trying to do. So
and, it's great. It really is. It's different, but sounds not the same. It's different, but it sounds familiar.
Familiar, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's your thing. It's what you're doing, but it's not so out there that nobody would be like, "What the fuck is this?"
What is this? Yeah,
Right.
like you understand. Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like there are certain songs that pull from Bonnie Raitt. There are certain songs that, like Lotus Rising, is a rock song on there that I pulled from Alanis. Like there are certain production aspects in each song that had a specific reference. And that's what I loved about this is like I was pulling from all of my influences, like Lotus Rising, Alanis Morissette for sure. There's a song called Just Checking In that was Chris Stapleton vibes. My producer used the same amp that Chris Stapleton uses on his albums and everything. Like he like was like nerding out to that point where it was like the same guitar, same amp, and same tone on the guitar solo that he used with Chris Stapleton in mind. And so each track I gave my producer, I want this as the reference. Like Landslide was a reference for my song Goody Two Shoes. It was like a mixture between Landslide and Carousel by Miranda Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know those two songs and then you go listen to it, you're like, okay, I hear it. And so we got down to that detail on the album, which was really nice because personally I know which influences I pulled from per track, but I think that's the familiar sound that people will hear and like, oh yeah, I like this. I don't know why. I think it's because she sounds like, whatever. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to bring back is like some of those influences that pour into my music. And each song has a specific reason and reference to why it sounds the way it does. So I love it.
How long were you working on this album before it came out?
About a year and a half it took. As an independent artist, I funded it myself, and so I couldn't just go into the studio and track 10 songs at once because that's expensive.
Yeah.
So we kind of did a waterfall release with this and did one song at a time. It gave every song attention, promotion, and so over the last year we were dropping singles, and then I packaged it as an EP, and then when the album came out it had one new song on it. So but yeah, it was a long but healthy process, and I loved it. It got each song got attention, which was the goal. So
now, had all those songs been written and finished as you were going, or were you writing them and finishing them as you were recording them?
Some of them I had just written. I was like, this needs to be on the album.
Sure.
Some of them had been written. And I was like, I already know that I want these, 4 songs on it. So it was kind of as I went. But for the most part, it was still months before we went into the studio that I had known that it was going to be on the album. So, yeah. But it was great. I did house concert tours around the country, performing the songs that would be on the album to help raise money to pay for the album as well. So that was really cool. Just very DIY. And like I said, like you find a way.
Yeah.
You find a way.
Yeah.
There are ways. You got to get creative. But I funded it myself, and I'm really proud of that because it wasn't cheap. And I had really good people be part of this album. The mixing engineer was Greg Collins, and I had met him previously through another performance that he had mixed for me. And this dude, his resume is stacked. He worked with Kiss, like all of their albums, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and No Doubt, and Michelle Branch. Like he's got a list of credits that he's had. And so when he said that he wanted to work with me and would work with me even on pricing, I was like, sold.
Yeah.
So he mixed the entire album. Love working with him. And then Brandon Wiggers was the producer for this album too. And this was his first album that he ever produced. So he had been with me from the start. So it just made sense to go with him.
I find it interesting because a lot of artists lately have been talking more about, everybody behind the scenes and producers and mixers and engineers and all that. And it always makes me like have some sort of like hope, right? And I know it sounds silly, but like when you have people in the industry that have worked with the biggest and best, and then work with independent artists and up and coming artists on what they're doing, like it's like, from this side of it, it's like those people I'm sure don't have to do that, right?
No, not at all.
But they do, because you can tell. That's when you have somebody that loves what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And loves what you're doing. Like, that's a huge compliment to me. He could say, hell no, he could have said, no, not interested. Like, I'm good.
I'm not putting my name on this shit.
Yeah. Like, and that's fine. But he had interest. And so there's plenty of people who will work with independent artists, especially because they think that they know that you're going to be successful.
Right.
And I've luckily had just such good people. Like I've surrounded myself with good people that believe in what I'm doing. They see my vision, want to help get my vision to, to the finish line. And that's the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with, is people who truly support you. And it's not like, they're not just like using you or work for hire. Cause I've definitely gone through plenty of those. It's just like, they just want the money.
Right.
And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who's going to be invested. And that comes from genuine connection.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that I think is the key ingredient to success, is just like having a good support system around you.
Yeah. Now, do you have your own band currently, or are you doing like hired guns?
I have a core band they're like my go-to players.
Yeah.
But because I'm a solo artist, we're not like a band that like
Sure.
writes
Okay.
with each other. So yes, then I have like a list of players that I typically hit up if one player's not available. So, and that's the norm.
Nice.
But I do have a band that would be my ideal dream team if they were available for every day. But once I can put them on salary, that's the goal, is to get them on salary so they are with me for every day, which would be ideal. And that's what we're working towards. So I've recently put together, I've started working with a team. They're called TSP Creative, and they're basically my creative directors and branding for everything that I'm doing. And they've been a total game changer. To like work with someone who has the eye for branding and like everything, image, like everything that you're trying to do. Because as an independent artist, we're doing everything.
Yeah.
Like we wear so many different hats.
Oh yeah.
Intended.
Yeah.
It's definitely my thing. And it's nice to have a team around you. And so as an independent artist, like finally getting to this point 8 years in, it feels so good. Like the album came out. We have a lot of good momentum right now. And so many opportunities have come from working with them and just like having their support, knowing the right people, putting my music in front of the right people. We had my album release at RCA Studio A on May 1st. And it was literally a dream. It was amazing. We had Julie Moran host the purple carpet because my album has a purple background, and like purple is my kind of bold color going along with everything. And we had a purple carpet instead of red, and it was awesome. And she interviewed a lot of people, and there were just a lot of like great, just big names in the room that were there to support. And they all stayed to the end of the show, which is not very normal for a Nashville showcase.
Yeah.
When industry people are in the room, it's typically like they'll stay for a couple songs. And we played the album top to bottom, and everyone stayed. No one left.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was the best feeling. And they stayed, and we got pictures, and I got to meet everybody, and it was just an incredible album release. And I'm just like so grateful to have these people in my corner.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a testament to you and the work you're doing.
Yeah, it is. It feels so good. I'm like, I've put in a lot of hard work, and to be honest, and I'm a very humble person, but like, this feels good. This feels like it's paying off. And one of the biggest, I wanted to talk to you about this. One of the biggest opportunities that came out of this is I have a song called Screaming Eagles, and it's on the album. I wrote it about my grandfather, who was a paratrooper with the 101st Airborne and jumped into Normandy on D-Day.
Damn.
So the 101st Airborne is known as the Screaming Eagles. That's their nickname. And this song has been out over a year. That was one of the first songs I released. And it's been a dream of mine to go to Normandy and perform that during D-Day. And my creative director just so happens to be the director of all the D-Day events in Normandy. And I knew that. We've known that. He's known about the song, but he just randomly like sent it to like the directors, sent my song Screaming Eagles to the people who work on the event, and they all were just like, oh my God, like we love this song. This girl has to be here. Like, why is she needs to be in Normandy? And then it just went from there. And so now I'm going to Normandy June 1st through the 9th to perform this year, like in a week.
That is awesome.
I'm just like blown away, and it's been like a dream come true, because to stand on the very soil that my grandpa jumped, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it's very full circle, and it's a huge honor.
Yeah.
Like, huge honor to do that. Everything's paid for. Like, I'm a sponsored artist, and we're like performing like 4 times a day at all of the celebrations in Normandy all week.
That's awesome.
It's going to be so cool. It's just like,
wow.
I can't believe it. So that's something that's just like, it's just like every day there's been something coming my way, like from all of it. It's just like, I'm not used to it.
Damn.
I'm not used to it at all, but things are feeling real good, man. I'm just like,
that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, it really is.
Like it.
Like,
yeah. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I just like, it's going to be very emotional.
Yeah.
I hope I can keep it together. But I mean, we're doing all kinds of stuff. And icing on the cake is the other artist that is going. We just had rehearsals this week, is Laura Osnes, and she's an incredible Broadway star. I mean, she's incredible. So her and I are going to be doing like an America duet and Amazing Grace together for some of the like church performances that we're doing for them. There's like monuments and banquets and the General's cocktail party. There's a lot of different events that we'll be performing at, and it's just so cool to be one of the artists this year.
That's congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so much.
That is so cool.
I can't wait.
And like it's way more than just, you know, it being about you and your song, right? Like,
yes, this is
way
about
more.
Veterans. Like,
right.
this
And
isn't
I'm
even about me.
not raining on your parade or anything.
No, I know.
Right? But
I
like,
know.
it's like you get to represent your country more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. And the story behind my song too. Like, yes, okay, it's my song and we're doing it, but it's like, it's so personal. Like, my grandpa was one of the paratroopers there, and like, we're gonna be performing in front of these like 100-plus-year-old veterans that are left. There's only a few left. There's like, right. I think 44. One guy is 106 and he's coming. And just having the story, like the verses of my song are the letters that my grandpa wrote home during war. So it's literally, I know.
Listen, it's too early on a Sunday afternoon to be crying. All
Go
right?
listen to the song Screaming Eagles by Jenny Teater. It is such a heartfelt song. I think it's one of the best songs I've written. The co-writers are Tolan Shaw and Sheridan Gates, and like, it's just such an emotional song, but it's so real, because especially if you have family in the military, you can relate to some of these letters, and it's literally his letters from the 40s. So it'll be very emotional and special, and it's just it's to honor the Screaming Eagles and our veterans. So it's gonna be special.
Let me ask you this, right? Because my grandfather also is a World War II vet, which he was a Marine, the whole 9 yards, right? Mm-hmm. I remember growing up, and my grandfather never talked about it.
No, same.
Never. Same. Okay, so yours too, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you this
now. So,
at what point did he start talking about it?
Like towards the end.
Yeah.
Towards the end. He lived to 93. Actually, yeah. He died in 2017. He was 93, and it was that last probably two or 3 years. Like, I have video. I was just like, wanted to set up a video camera and just like talk to him and just let him talk.
Yeah. I wish I would have did that with mine.
Yeah. I wish I would have asked more questions. Now looking back, I'm younger, so I was still kind of naive and didn't really know the depth of what he did. And I just knew he was at war. So, and again, it comes with maturity and growing up. But we're finding out more now. And it's like, I wish I would have asked questions, but they typically don't talk about it. And I understand why.
It's,
so
now this is where we get personal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did your grandmother pass away before he did?
Yes.
Is
both
that
his wives? So
Oh, okay.
his first wife, Shirley, is who I talk about. It says "Dear Shirley" in the song.
Yeah.
That was my dad's mom, and then he remarried after Shirley passed away. So both he outlived both of his wives.
Now, is that when the stories really started to come out after they were both gone? And I asked for a reason.
Yeah, probably. I think so. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah. So the last few years of his life, he was.
Because my dad, bless his heart, listens to every one of these episodes, right? And growing up, my grandfather wasn't the nicest of people, right? Because of everything he went through, right?
Yep.
And my grandmother passed away several years before he did. And once she died, it was like the floodgates opened. Like, here's everything that happened. And this is, and like him and I got super close, like, very close. And, we would do lunch once a week, twice a week. We would go to the movies, whatever, you name it.
Yeah.
Like we got super close, right? And so my grandfather landed in Okinawa on Easter Sunday in 44, 45, right at the end of the war.
Yeah.
And so he was at the Battle of Okinawa and all that. And, I don't know if you've ever seen Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes.
But,
we were just talking about that. Oh, my God.
And, my grandfather was like, that's, he had saw it, and I had never seen it.
Okay.
And he was like, and he couldn't get through it. But he was like, that's exactly what it was like.
Yeah.
So the day he died, that night, I watched Hacksaw Ridge, and I don't think I had a dry eye the entire time.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was...
Because it was one of those moments where it's like, why the fuck didn't I watch this before and ask more questions?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
And you can't, it's like, it's hard. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. God,
Band Brothers is great.
I'm glad we could share this together.
I know. See, it's just like, and they're listening, like they're up there. I this song has just, it's something that you just never think will happen. Like I remember the day we wrote it, I knew it was a special song. I'm like, I wonder where this will go. And then it's just like it got the attention of the 101st Airborne. I kept tagging them on Instagram, and they were just like, oh my God, can you come perform this year? I'm like, oh my God, yes, I would love to. And it just led to so many different opportunities up in Fort Campbell. I played their military ball, and I got to jump out of an airplane with the U.S. Army Golden Knights.
That's awesome. I don't think I could ever do it.
I said that. But I was like, this is an opportunity that I cannot turn down. No. I was scared, of course, but I was like, oh my God, the U.S. Army Golden Knights, that's the U.S. parachute team. They're the safest people to do this with.
Right. If you're going to jump out of a plane with somebody, it might as well be them.
Go with them. Yeah. It was an incredible experience. It's on my YouTube. You can see my cheeks just it's not very attractive, but it was insane. It didn't feel like you were falling. And I wore my grandpa's jump pins on my waistband with me. So he was up there, and it was just an incredible experience to do that. Do what he did that. It's insane. I'm one and done for that. I don't know that I'd do it again, but it was easy. And the landing was flawless. We just slid into the grass. It was amazing.
Now, can you breathe when you're doing that?
Yes. But I had to wear goggles because that's also another reason. They're just on my face, it's not attractive at all. But I had to wear goggles because of my glasses. And so it went over my nose. But yeah, you're not supposed to open your mouth because it'll just fill you with air. But it was fine. No, it was fine. You're dropping for 40 seconds and then the parachute comes out.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The longest 40 seconds of my life. But
I'm not a good flyer, a regular flyer. Getting in the plane and getting up is I'd rather not. So I could never imagine jumping out of it.
It was crazy, dude. It was crazy. But a chance of a lifetime. I couldn't say no. A huge honor. You have to be nominated to go with them. So this guy called me that built a relationship with it through the airborne, and he's like, when's the last time you flew out or jumped out of an airplane? I was like, never.
Right.
He's like, well, there's one spot left and I can nominate you if you want it. I was like, oh my God. So
That's
it was
awesome.
cool. You should go look at the video too. It's on my YouTube.
I'm gonna.
It's Jenny Teater tandem jump or whatever. It's on my channel, but it was so cool.
That's
so cool.
awesome.
So we out here doing things, but
that's so
now
cool.
I'm in Normandy, and just a lot of things are in the works. It
That's
feels
awesome.
really good. Just it feels so right now. So, and it's just, this has been my dream. Everything I've always wanted. And it wasn't easy getting here. I will say that it was not. Hard work is starting to pay off.
And listen, you still have 2 years left.
That's right. 10-year town.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, so
right.
We'll see. We've got a lot of irons in the fire right now, coming out of this album. And then my song, I wrote a song called Rhinestone Rock, and that's coming out on D-Day, June 6th. Didn't realize that was the release date for that, but I'll be in Normandy. But that song is just so cool. I got to write it with Brett Boyette, who's an incredible producer here in town, and Troy Johnson, amazing songwriter, and we did it. We did the thing. So the track came out so good. Brett produced it, and we got some like background singers on there, and it's just exactly what Rhinestone Rock is to me. It's just it's perfect.
It's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
I'm very excited about
it. I say it all the time, right? Like this show, I come into these interviews limping most of the time because it's like I don't look into anything. I don't want to know, because it's like I want the conversations to be genuine, right? Genuine. Like if I know your whole story coming in, I'm just going to sit here and, land planes out the window and not care. Not care, but like not be engaged enough to, have a connection.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, this is not the conversation I thought I was going to have today. And I'm very, very happy about it.
Awesome. That's great because,
and a lot of that goes back to, not to knock anybody, but the last few, and I'm saying this and I'm putting out their episodes at some point, but the last few female artists have been so, it's like, come on, just give me something. Just, breathe. Say words, like, whatever you need to do, don't, just be you. And I'm so glad that, I'm so glad that you know how to be you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
That's like the biggest thing about me.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, but it's like, it took some time to get there. I will say that, of course. I mean, it's a lot of trial and error, but like I'm 33 years old. And I don't care. I'm 33 years old. I literally don't care.
You're what? Oh my God. Wow.
But seriously, I'm 33, and I used to think that was like, oh my God, you're so old or whatever. But like, I'm so glad where I'm at right now. I'm like confident in myself. I know what I want. I know what I like to sing, and that takes time. Like you don't just like at 18, if you start this career at 18, you're going to evolve a lot. And where I'm at right now, through all of those lessons, trial and error, fail, succeed, fail again. Like I'm finally in a spot where I don't care what other people think. I used to a lot more. Sometimes it creeps in. That's normal. Yeah. But like at this point, this is me. I have nothing to hide. This is my personality. This is my music. This is my voice. Like everything. It's just me. And so that's what I'm running with. And I don't know if it's the right or wrong thing, but I don't know that there is a right or wrong in this industry either. Nope. Literally, people are throwing shit at a wall and saying it. So
no, let me ask you this, right? Did you find that you started to get a little more successful once you stopped giving a shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Me too.
100,000,000%.
Yep. Like this whole thing, like the second I stopped trying to keep up with other like podcasts that are now either gone or doing something totally different, like the second I stopped giving a fuck, it's been night and day.
Yeah. stopping giving a fuck, but also giving a fuck enough to like you care enough
Yeah.
to put the work into it. But it's more just like there's a lot of opinions out there, and some of them are professional and useful, of course, in certain circumstances. But when it comes to like doing your thing as an artist, like that's what makes you unique. So trust your gut a little bit with room for critical feedback. And that's what like this creative branding team around me is like. I've never had that. I've never had someone with that eye that's like, maybe you should, what if you do it like this? Or focus on these 4 things that make you you. So, and that's all with branding, right? Like my branding is my hat, my glasses. Everyone before them, everyone was like, glasses are weird and nerdy. What's with the glasses? Like, I literally got people that said that, like, what's with the glasses? I'm like,
I gotta fucking see.
I gotta see, first of all. But like, funky frames. I love them. It's an accessory.
It's very Lethal Loeb of you.
Yes, thank you. I guess. And
no, that's not a bad thing.
No, I know. But I get that. So funky frames and the red lip, like, and then just other little things that like make me me, and that's what I'm leaning into. And branding is a thing too. Like you have to like find your thing and run with it. So
because like there was a time on this show, like I was like very like, we're not talking about this, we're not talking about that, we're not touching certain topics, and now I'm like, I give a shit, we talk about mental health here all the time.
Oh yeah, that should be talked about. Yeah, and literally, that's what my song "Just Checking In" is all about. So
and like I get a lot of shit from a lot of people, like for that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's, you shouldn't put all that about you out there. Like, I don't care. Like, if my story or somebody else's story on the other end of this camera can help somebody else, that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. That's surprising.
Yeah. But I mean, you know this industry. Like.
Yes. Yeah.
And like. Other hot button top, like I have a degree in political science, and I always said, you know what, I'm not. It's not a thing. I don't care what side of the aisle you fall on. We're not talking about it.
Yeah,
and
that's something that I'm. Yeah, for sure. I remain neutral with politics.
Right, and we don't really. Like I've only had maybe an artist or two that is kind of like, I don't want to say gone off the rails, but like that was a big part of the episode, and like I was like, you know what, that's okay. Because
that's fine. Right? Like that's freedom of speech, literally. But like that's their choice then. Right. And then they're like, okay, they're that artist that is going to be outspoken about it, and that's fine. Go for it.
Right. You do you.
To kind of delegate,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's at that point where I'm like, whatever. I'm just here to facilitate at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just kind of follow their lead. Yeah. I've always been neutral on politics just because for my stuff, like personally with my stuff, I don't really, that just doesn't fit in my, what I'm trying to advocate through my music and the messages and
it's
stuff.
It's not important.
There's a time and a place, I guess. And for me, I don't think, for me as an artist, music is not that place to do that.
I agree.
I don't care what side you fall on.
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded about that stuff, but for the most part, I'm just like,
Yeah, because, it's, and like, I think a lot of it, I let a lot of things slide. Not slide, like I would stop them, but like, I let topics and comments kind of go without, because you learn to pick your battles.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
go with the flow.
Yeah.
Or my song, Roll with the Punches. That's what I do a lot. There's a lot of punches in this industry.
There's sure are.
But I encourage you to listen. You should go listen to Screaming Eagles just because of your connection there. And anyone else listening, very excited about this trip and just what's next for me. It's going to be an incredible trip, and I'll be posting stuff about it. But I think there's going to be a People magazine spread on it too. But there's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be incredible. So I got to pack now.
Yeah.
I'm like ordering stuff on Amazon. Like I need a power adapter. I need. Anyways.
And this is why I love the way these conversations go, because now I can go back and everybody else can go back and listen and get a better sense of the music.
Yes.
Than they would have prior.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope everything that I've said, and even just like just me as a person, matches what I've put out there, because I mean, there's a mood for everything, and that's why I think I love the dynamic of this album is like it takes you on a journey. And that's
Yeah.
kind of some of the feedback I got from the album release. I'm like, okay, great, you get it then. Because I was so trained to like you need to be one thing,
Yeah.
otherwise you're going to be confusing. And like literally these are the things that people used to tell me, and no. So
Yeah.
this album takes you on a journey. It talks about all kinds of different topics, personal and just like something that's relatable. And I'm all about advocating, empowering, and like just being human. And so there's a lot of different things on the album that'll make you want to like get up and dance and sing and rock out, and some that will make you think and cry and remember, reminisce. And it's just I love it. I'm very proud of it. It's my first album, and we're doing things.
You are, and I'm so happy you're here, and thank you again for your time. And
Thank you.
go have your lunch. I
Oh, yeah,
appreciate
I
you.
smell it. It's
Yeah,
I think
I'm sure it smells fantastic.
yes. All
Well,
right.
Jenny, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Our conversation with Jenny Teater. I promise not to ramble this time. I'm just going to leave it at that. Great episode. Great episode. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being on and telling us your story. It was really nice to connect about our grandparents and stuff. So I really appreciate that, like more than you know. Um, go check out Jenny's stuff. You won't be disappointed. It is freaking awesome. It's so good. Um, it is refreshing. You know what I mean? It's no bullshit. You know, a girl just taking names and kicking ass, and she's doing it. She's freaking doing it. So Jenny, keep being awesome, and we're always here for you. And I apologize for this taking so long. Um, so yeah, until next time, guys, keep. Oh my god, see what I mean? I'm done. I'm done, toast. Until next time, be good to each other. Keep those boots on the ground, the whiskey in the glass. We'll see you all next Tuesday. Go check out Cam Bogle's episode and all the other episodes. We appreciate the hell out of you. Cheers.